The fog rolled in fast enough that I didn't even bother running. One moment, the street was just empty. Cars abandoned at bad angles, doors left open like someone planned to come back. And the next, it wasn't a street anymore. Just a gray wall swallowing distance and sound. I could hear movement in it. I'd never close enough to place, but I could hear something. I went into whatever was closest, and that just so happened to be the mall. 2 stories of glass and concrete, squatting at the edge of the fog like it always had been meant to be waiting there. The front doors were already shattered. I stepped inside and the sound of breaking glass echoed for longer than it should have. The lobby was empty. Wide, clean. Too clean. The kind of space designed to funnel crowds that now had nowhere to send them. I stood there longer than I meant to, listening to my own breathing and the faint scrape of something moving outside. Through the remaining panes of glass, I saw the shapes drifting right past me. Human silhouettes. Mostly human. They moved wrong. Stopping mid-step, jerking forward, limbs snapping into place like they had forgotten what came next. Marionettes without strings is what I like to call them. None of them looked at the mall. They just passed by aimlessly, impatient. That felt worse than being noticed. I moved deeper into the mall. The lower floor told a story. Storefront gates sat half raised or twisted out of shape. Someone had tried to block the corridors with mannequins and shelving units, piling them in through the barricades. Plastic limbs lay scattered across the tile. A mannequin torso had been jammed upright between the kiosks, its smooth face tilted up toward the ceiling lights. Bent steel near the entrances showed how useless the barriers had actually been. Drag marks ran everywhere. Long, smeared red lines pulled away from the barricades and into shadow. Some stopped abruptly, and others vanished behind counters or into mall maintenance halls. None of them went back from towards the exit. Whatever happened here hadn't been that long ago. The air smelled faintly of sweet and hot wiring and pennies. A soda machine hummed weakly somewhere, its display flickering like it hadn't gotten the message yet. I found the stairs to the public shelter near the center of the mall. The sign was torn halfway down, and the arrow still pointing like it believed in the idea of safety. I didn't want to go to below ground. I went away. The stairwell lights were dead. My flashlight carved a narrow path down the steps, catching darker drags marks this time. Thicker, layered over one another. The air grew colder and farther I descended. Heavy with a damp, metallic smell that clung to the back of my throat. At the bottom, the shelter door lay on its side, not ripped off, just removed. The hinges were intact, the locking bar still bolted in place. Someone or something had taken the entire steel frame and just set it carefully against the wall as if pointlessly mattered. The shelter was empty now. No bodies, no blood. Just scattered blankets and overturned folding table. A single child's shoe near a floored drain. The vents overwhelmed and rattled softly as fog began to seep through them. Thin tendrils curling down and like they were feeling around started to pop out of each drain. I backed out. By the time I reached the main floor again, the fog was already inside. It slid through shattered entrances and broken skylights, flowing around kiosks and pillars, filling them all knee-high with rising fog. Movement came with it. The shapes drifted through the doors, outlines blurring as if they crossed from the fog tile. Up close, the details didn't help. Joints bent too far, heads tilted and stayed that way. Their movements stuttered like something was skipping frames. They didn't rush. They knew they didn't need to. I just sat down against the wall. The neon sign inside flickered weakly. lighting up on shelves of adolescent things that no one would ever buy again. My hands were steady, which surprised me. I reached into my jacket and pulled out a cigarette. Guess I didn't have time to stop after all. I lit it and took a slow drag, watching the smoke curl and vanish into the fog as it swallowed them all. One of the shapes paused a few meters away, head cocked slightly like it was curious as to what I was doing. I exhaled. The fog thickened, and that thing shrieked. The mall disappeared in the fog, and I along with it. I'm getting Silent Hill vibes. What did you think about that creepy tale, ladies and gentlemen? Why, hello, hey. I'm reading you creepy stories for your sleepy snories. Huh? Not bad, right? Came up with that myself. Oh, hey, boring safari. You're just in time. I found lots of creepy tales tonight. But seriously, what did you think about that one? I wonder where he disappeared to. I think that was just a fancy way of saying that that creature snapped his neck towards him, and the guy died. That the fog came rolling in and brought with it some kind of beings, almost like The Mist. That was a good movie. The end screws me up every time. The silly, slippery, slow tortoise? No, we're not talking about Snappy. What is the equation for momentum? Really? Really? You're gonna ask me that? What about anything that I'm doing makes you think I went to college? Well,